Hi guys, welcome again. Sorry for not posting in a week, but I've been having some health issues, not COVID, just migraines with a string of them. Hopefully this will get recorded without it. Here I got two games for you today. First is an Alexandria game in a tough setup. Halicarnassus is probably the best wonder in 3-player games, and it's piloted by Iguana. He is currently number 1 in 3-player ladder. He won 4-player ladder 2 times, so arguably he's the best player we have right now, and like really excellent player. He plays like all the player counts and stuff like that. Really talented player. Someone I always make sure to check out his replays. This was one I've played with him, and here we have Colossus. So like I'm worse than him at green, and also he's sitting on my right, so he has better position for claiming green in the second round. And Rhodos is obviously better at red than me, so this looks like a toughie. This looks like whenever I get a position like this in 3-player, I think to myself that second place would be good here. But let's see how we fare here. I was debating, but I thought that the only real chance I stand in was P. Most people will tend to say that Alexandria is the worst wonder right now, I would say. If I would rank the wonders, I would really strongly consider Alexandria for the last place also. So this is a tough one, but we get the clay pit. Like the saving grace for Alexandria, I think, is that the clay pit is just excellent for what it wants to do. So this looks like a playable game. Okay, so we get an early commit to green, not surprising. The spread is okay for him, but like not amazing. So here there are a couple of options. There is stealing the workshop, but I don't think it does much. There is guard tower, which I think is probably the card that should be played from this hand. There is also stone pit, but given how Colossus already has this, maybe we can block him on stone. Like playing this set of wonders is still for me about trying to at least get second place. So guard tower, he gets the press, so obviously Scriptorium is gonna get picked. Marketplace was very decent, but I'm Alexandria, but this is the time to figure out if I'm committing to building the wonder all the way. I think there are two options with Alexandria. You can just stay on the first side, or you can try to build all the way. 4 wood is looking like incredibly scary. Like it's actually 3 wood, right? Because you have one from the first stage. Sorry guys. But you know, 3 wood is still something. Like this is one of the hardest stages to build. Just like, for example, free stage for free cost for him is hard to build, and free cost here is hard to build. But you know, wood is something that is the most common. So it's actually like the high cost on wood is not that bad. Still, I thought here that securing Claypool is the most important thing that can happen to me. Like he would pick probably Claypool from this hand if given the chance. So like I would have to pay him. This can let me hide something, and this can let me save my gold for something more important. So he's going into red. He's obviously picking green. That's expected. Lumberyard here, that lets me build both the green cards that I'm interested in. Mainly it gives me the access to archer range. I will have access to stables nonetheless. Yeah, so I thought it's decent. With a pickup of Caravanserai, I could get access to everything with that. So that's like a reasonable gamble for me. And here he threw, what you can see is he threw the cog from this hand, which is terrible. It's like, it's not something that you want to do. I don't want to pick up on Pushkin here, but it's just something that we can educate ourselves on. So you are playing Colossus, your main victory condition is red in this situation, and maybe, I don't know, resources and red, something like this. And the other thing that can really help you is that people will fight for green. So he doesn't let me pick green here, and he doesn't let me hide green versus Iguana, who can build this, of course, through the discard. Here, I don't remember what I did. I think I just hit Stone Pit and decided to build the stage. No, I just went for points. That's okay too. And the last card will be a Wonder Stage, just because I have nothing better. I'm hiding this one so he doesn't get Caravanserai. Right now I'm like I have chances for Caravanserai. So he ends up with a set. So at this point I was like, okay, first place is decided. Let's try to play for second. And here I think I'll just go Caravanserai. I think just like the gambles pay off here, kinda. Like I have everything. This will be 6 cards for resources, so that's pretty good. And here I think I've made one of the better plays in this game. Like obviously some stuff is falling in the right places for me. I've got the duel, I've got the Caravanserai, I also got the Claypool reasonably, so everything's kind of working out. But here there is a chance that I will get 2 picks, like 2 blue picks from this hand, and that's okay. But what is most important is not having a good pick on this hand. He will obviously not obviously, but he will get the card house from this one. But I really need to stop Dispensary, and I just hit Dispensary from this hand. I thought that let's try it. Here I just went Archery Range. I still need to, win red and discourage him from playing red. He's not easily discouraged. I was a little surprised from Stables, but seeing how there is nothing here, I can totally understand. I would have probably in his position played the Sawmill, but he didn't have the money, I think, so that's okay. And here, suddenly I get the chance of winning red, so actually, I'm ahead of Colossus kinda right now. Here I get everything is the same to me, but it's not the same to them. So actually I'm picking something that's best for him. So in this hand it would be Statue. And the last one is obviously a build. I can maybe think about Forum, but not really. A stage, sorry. And I'm hiding the stuff from him, but it doesn't matter. He's not probably interested in building it from the discard. Anyway, here there is another good stuff for me. There is the Palace, which is excellent. And Gardens Town Hall look reasonable when it comes back. Also a red there. Here... a lot of good stuff as well. Arena is excellent. Builders Guild looks reasonable, but I think I'm the only one that can play it kind of reasonably. It costs 6 to him. He might be interested in Haven, so I think I just sorry, I got it mixed up. Arena is actually worse for them. What I'm saying, Builders is actually it costs him 6, but it's he will play it. Arena just looks weak, but he will still probably play it, so it might be just better because he will build it probably. Okay, so he pushes red, so that's something. Here another I don't really understand why he pushed red from that head. I would totally build decorators. So this is something that I'm, kind of winning him over here. But there is also Craftsman, which is excellent. Both for me, more for me than for him, but it's still reasonably good. It's just 1 point, 2 point less, let's say. Here, couple of options. This is 4 to potential 5, so probably Gardens is better. There is one of the red plays that I can follow, but he can actually counter, except that he can't, because there is nothing, no way for him to build Siege Workshop. So I can actually secure myself with an arsenal. It's important to realize that he doesn't have access to free bricks, so that's really good. And here I really fought for a while. And I actually think that this is another game-winning move for me. So let's say I build Haven and he builds Lodge. So I get 4, he gets 12. So that's 8 points that he has over me. He has to pay actually 2 to me. So that's like, let's say 7 points. But he can build it from the discard, so he doesn't really have to pay to me. And he can, you know, he gets it from Mausoleum, let's say. What I can actually do here, and like what I did, is to build the lodge. I have to pay, like I can pay to Pushkin here. So so that way I'm like actually gaining one, like this is the same as throwing, just because it will give me 1 point, but the two gold that I lose doesn't cost me a point, because it doesn't, you know, round up to 3. So this is actually the same as throwing, so I'm like gaining 1 point, let's say, compared to Iguana, and the best card that he can get is University, so that's 8, so that's 1 less point. It doesn't save me the game. I think that like my advantage is good enough, but I really wanted to showcase that sometimes when they're like really desperate to finish a set, you kind of have to build it. And I think I went back and forth here, and that was like the process in my head. And look, he gains 7 here, and this is last hand. Actually, I forgot that there is a lighthouse here, and I think I went into lighthouse here. Yeah, I think I did. So actually it might, no, I didn't. That was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake. And it, like, the lighthouse here kinda makes it all the same. But still, it was something that I really want to showcase, that like sometimes you have to break those sets in like the hard way. Here I have 4 points over, so it wouldn't have mattered that much, but still, it was a pretty interesting one. In the end, like I kinda comfortably win with this wonder, which is amazing. Obviously, Caravanserai helped, and also their lack of focus on red helped here. I think it was generally a little misplayed by the classes, and I got the good picks. But it also showcased that, you know, you can win with like the worst wonder against the best wonder. That's at least what the consensus kinda against top players is right now. So let's jump into the other game, and this is again a game where we'll be following a player playing against Iguana, and I really want to showcase, because like I think Iguana is really like, he doesn't make mistakes, or he makes like very few of them. He generally has a really excellent plan for the game. He knows like where to push and where to, you know, not push, and he's constantly on top of every ladder that we have in the game. So I really think that games with this player are really worth watching. Okay, so here, this is another player that I really think is worth watching, Ottawa. I really like watching some of his replays. I think he's pretty creative, and this is a game that was not sent to me. I just found it by looking through those two players' games. So, oh, there's phone. Sorry, guys. So I had to shut this down. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so without further ado, let's go here. Let's see. This is kind of similar setup, except it's like all the 3 wonders here are what I call a green wonders, and that means that their primary focus is to play green. And here there is Alexandria, which he chose A. I think this is playable, but I'm really going into knight myself lately. Here, no surprises. All players play knight side for those 2. So let's see what we can do here. Also, this is a hand where he doesn't have a duel. I don't remember if it's on another hand, but it looks pretty bad here. He expects a lot of, grace, so I would imagine this is marketplace here. But I've looked very briefly through this. Okay, so he actually changed, and I understand that. Like, you are in a game where there is a lot of grace, just because 2 are at the start, and you kinda want to, finish your wonder here easily and be a major focus in the gray play. And you don't get the duel, so the gray pick is very understandable. I kinda hate that we are passing marketplace, like fully stacked marketplace to... but sometimes there's nothing you can do. So we do get a timber yard, and there is a decision. We can either skip the timber yard and try to go for scriptorium, or we can go timber yard route, and I think the timber yard route is the proper one. I think this is again a mistake. Not picking duel, I don't think you can do that in 3 player. In a lot of other player counts you can, and you even should do something like that, but not here, not as Babylon. And also, this is a strong signal. This indicates that this guy wants to play in the green. And a lot of players will force green. Green is very, very strong right now in 3 players, so this makes a lot of sense. So here, this is very interesting. There is Stone Pit, there is Orvain. This was very expected. I'm not like necessarily fan of one or the other. I think Stone Pit makes maybe more sense if you plan on getting the Caravanserai, and also it makes more sense with your initial Caravanserai. That way you can get, like, even if you don't get buffs, you will be able to get the aqueduct and the walls. But also something to consider is that it will probably end up in your hand as the last one anyway, except there is Babylon in this game, so something to consider. I would probably pick Stone Pit myself. Okay, so here another decision point. Barracks would be obviously good, and maybe that should be something that we considered when picking the Stone Pit. But there is also, Lumberyard to finish up. There is Claypool also. A really hard pick, I would say. I would probably go Lumber, just because it will give me much more stuff in the future. But I cannot hate this pick either. So here we kind of must go Stockade, we need to be in red if we are playing like this. And on the last hand we do get the Orvain, so now we have a choice. We can go for Orvain and kind of gamble on the Caravanserai, I would say, or we can just build the stage. I think building the stage makes a little more sense here. But Ottawa disagrees, and that's why we are watching this game. This guy has, I really like watching him because he has kind of different playstyle than mine, and he's very successful, so I learn a lot by watching his replays. So here we kind of focused on the stuff, and that's actually something that can be played. Whenever you have like this setup, maybe this is this is genius. Maybe he knows that this stuff won't be contested, and you can just easily grab kind of all of them. Here I think this is stables. We need to be in red. You could make an argument that if we play like build, then we get one red either way, but maybe we want to build double. So this is looking scary, but not super scary yet. And what we can do is actually we can lib, like hide lib to stop it. This is like a huge stuff for him. And here we can actually hide even dispensary. We are getting the monies just because like our resources are better. So we are getting the money from Ludo. Iguana can also only like get resources from us. So we are getting the money. Dispensary can be hidden here as well. This is another huge blow to him. And here we have plenty of options between aqueduct and walls. I mean, I would probably pick walls myself. It's still more points. Like this might look like 4 points versus this guy and 3 points against this guy, but it's still more just because he needs to bury another card to change the outcome in the last era. So walls it is. And here I think is the pick where I disagree, like really disagree for the first time, because Otava here will pick the loom, and I think that's too slow. We have 6 cards for resources. This would be 7th, so that's like breaking my own rule. Like I think like 6 is the most that you can play. Like 7th is really pushing it. Of course, if you win every red, or if you have like crazy good setup with your Wonder as Giza or something, you can get away with that. But I like when I would be playing this game, this is not a choice that I would have made. But probably I'm wrong, and the reason for that is that blues were stacked on one hand. I think. Let's just see if I'm right. Yeah, blues were stacked on one hand. So if I build the Wonder last hand, like here is like a good tracking of cards in your head, or just just general game awareness. Like I would have made the mistake. Like that loom was actually the correct play, and it shows how how complex 7 Wonders can sometimes be. So here, like we end up with kind of dream setup. This is old school Alexandria, where you kind of have everything. Like this would be a setup that you have for last edition Alexandria, and let's just say that you have like 3 points, and then you have a tradable one instead of everything. So this actually looks very good. Like when you think about it, it looks really good. The worst part about this is that it costs you 7 cards to build it. But you can, like in some player counts, you can group it with like double dual. But obviously this won't happen often. But still, it looks really strong. Like you will be able to build everything kind of from this hand. And also you will be able to get money for everything here. As you can see, this one is accessible only by you. Obviously he has forum, but it looks really good. Maybe this is why I'm showing this game. Maybe this is like a setup that can actually work in some of these games. I'm not sure how this will fare against people who will push more red, but given how strong the green is, maybe you can just then be in green as this one. If there is like a red focus, maybe this is like just plan B or plan A, and both of them are good. So here Pantheon excellent, Traders Guild excellent. I think Pantheon is better for everyone else than you, and Traders is kind of bad for them and good for you, so you should pick Pantheon here. Another excellent stuff. Decorators is great. Arena is great. Senate is great. Haven is very, very playable, so you can take your pick, and your pick should be Decorators, followed by one of these probably. I disagree. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so the reason why he picks Senate is that there is a reason for that. Senate can be easily picked by this guy, and then you like it's more of playing against them instead of maximizing your own points, which free player kinda is all about. So let's take a look. Senate here, and like okay, so let's say that we pick Decorators. He picks Senate, and then he picks a green card. So we end up with 13 off of that. He ends up with 6, and he ends up with a green, which is hard to evaluate, but let's say it's that. So let's say we pick Senate, then Iguana is kind of forced into a bad pick. The best one that he can get probably is Decorators now, but then he's forced to build a weak pick here. But does it cost him much? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is in this discard. I haven't been focusing enough. This pick is against Iguana kinda, because he cannot build Arena, and he cannot build Decorators reasonably. I like, given how the points are right now, I can understand that. But it's okay. Okay, so here I think we that's hard. I think we Builders. That's just the best card. So he is actually forced to build some stuff. So I think this is a mistake. I think he should Decorators from that one. 3-7. So I'm not sure how hate drafty he wants to play. But I think still it's Traders, just because Gardens is not so much worse than Town Hall for him. And he does play for red. Here I would 100% get Decorators. And here, like at the end, we see that we are only playing against Iguana, so we'd rather force fortifications. Obviously he's gonna play the red card, but that's okay because we are winning against Ludo enough, I think, except he has 2 picks, so I don't, but like Craftsman is just too bad to be picked, so we'd rather pick this and be at least second than, you know, waste. But I think this is not enough. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, in the end it was not enough. He did play a red here, but you know, that was it. In the end, pretty cool game, I would say. Very close between this. Again, we shown a game where Alexandria wins against Halicarnassus, and I would say like this was pretty well played here as well. There was no major like weaknesses. This was just like good instincts on picking all those brown cards that let him dominate the market, kinda. Like just because you are the only guy with stone, everyone who will play a stone will buy it from you, and also, you know, like you'll just have more resources, you can just have more stuff. Obviously this is a green play where, you know, he will play a lot of stuff for free. Here you have Caravanserai, but still your presence of your or of your stuff lets you buy a lot, and then you have a lot of gold, and some people will play like that they will pay to the guy that has gold versus the guy who doesn't have gold, because it's like he has gold already. I'm not changing his picks much, but you are still getting a lot of points from that. There is not a single card for gold. There was not a single throw. We spent 1, 3, 4, 5 gold, and we end up with 17. So on the course of this game, we got 14 gold. That's more actually than there is a difference between us and Iguana. So the gold that we gained was the stuff that made the difference. Okay, I've crossed 30 minutes already. Like, I haven't recorded in a while, so I had a lot of stuff to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you later. Bye.